After a conquo in goal. What is love? After a conquo on loan from Arsenal.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. Sean Driver, the Red Horde, and it is a neutral watch party early in the morning. A bit of a scramble catching this one up, and I'm going to tell you we wasted a lot of time trying to get the Lincoln City iFollow. I'm going to suggest they don't have a lot of subscribers. I've got a sick lad in the corner who's doing his thing.
I can't go to sleep because my coffee.
And so he's trying to figure that out. So it's a busy day. Jumping into this one early, got the players heading on out. If you've been following along with any Wigan Athletic games, their starting lineup exactly the same as it was before. The only real substantive change as far as personnel goes is the addition of one, and I've just lost his name, Katamateri, and I'm probably pronounced that wrong because that's just going by memory. He being the 19-year-old striker on loan from Sheffield Wednesday. So this one, fascinating. 2 early games put them up for the poll. Had like 30 people vote on it and 100% of you saying you wanted to watch this one. I suspect largely because Lincoln City sitting at 6th place. We haven't seen them as of yet. Wigan Athletic sitting down at 15th. And just to kind of go through a couple things before we get here. They're sitting at 15th. They most recently had a 4-0 away win against Bristol Rovers, who we still don't know, like, who is Bristol? They came out quite well. They struggled. A close 2-1 away loss to Birmingham, so that's, good stock there as far as a report. But then they've a 1-0 win against Crawley, a 2-0 loss to Reading, and that's the game that we saw, Brendan. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Wigan Athletic did not look solid at all. And that's the one that we thought Reading was going to potentially overwhelm and had the capacity to overwhelm Wrexham down that left-hand side, was all because of that. So A2Z EV, thanks there. Wigan is a good team that's in a slump. That could be. And I'd suggest it's, they had a loss to Charlton. They sort of had a rough start to the season, starting with, Charlton, that's a respectable away loss at 1-0. But that Reading game, they didn't look good. Birmingham, that's a good outcome, but we'll figure it all out. Mertlin's here, apart from Shrewsbury and Leyton Orient, who are in pretty dire straits. So ignore the little coughs that go on in the background as we're dealing with that one. And new and improved, maybe. I don't know.
I have to ask you, though, did that come from the fact that I made a comment about your beard? Like, if we can get a few more people to connect, we can monetize X, and then you can afford a razor. Did you hear that comment?
I did hear that comment, but it had nothing to do with that. I've been asking my wife, who's never seen me without a beard, for 8 years now, to shave it off. And we were having a celebratory ice cream after buying our house last week and everything finalizing. And we were out doing that, and ice cream and beards don't get along. And I said, this is sucking all the joy out of my life. And I shaved this thing off, and for the first time in 8 years, she said, yeah, go ahead. And so it got ripped off immediately. And then I had to wait till we get a haircut. I debated whether I waited. But I thought, we have permission to go and do something. We have that license. We use that license. So they came up. And at the moment, I've been instructed to refill it. That's how things work in my household. We're getting almost close to being underway here. We're going to have to go from left to right on your computer screen, linking from right to left. And if you had to do it, that we had trying to follow, get to iFollow on LinkedIn, while you're listening, go to Lincoln City's website. You tell me how long it takes you to find their iFollow. What a travesty that website is. Oh no, I'm underwater, Sean.
Yeah, your audio sounds pretty bad, Sean, to me and to everyone else.
Okay, why don't you just jump in here for a second then?
Okay. It looks like we're about to start, and we did. We're off. at least on my screen. Let me see. Immediately kicked right out of bounds. So looks like a nice sunny day in England. Lincoln with the throw in right now. Hard to tell here and hard to tell where Sean is because it's still dark out where we are. No sunlight yet. Throw in by Lincoln gets knocked immediately back out. Swirly talking about Mullen and Cannon starting. I hope that's just Mullen in place of Palmer, and they're going to give the Marriott Palmer thing a try to see if they can just cause a lot of chaos and not utilize the Palmer as a target man. Sean's still working on his sound. Wigan with the throw in. Knock ahead. Looks like some of the players are struggling with the sun at the moment. And the first.
I may be back.
He is back. There we go.
Okay, minute and 21 on my clock, and I'm just following along here. And let me get my everything up so that I can actually talk about what I need to talk about. And I may go underwater for just a brief second here. I should have waited until I got everything set up before I jumped in so that I didn't have to fill the air with dead silence and rambling. In any event, I'm with you on the rumors, and I sent you the link, so hopefully that's up. Rumors of a Mullen and Cannon start. I want my Marriott. I thought my prediction that I thought EOC could come out for Scar, and I'd be happy to get Scar a look in an actual league game. I think as far as changes anywhere else on the field, I think that they would be premature. I love Mullen. I am getting tired of the antics. I'm going to be completely honest. I'd like him to just focus on the football and not on the flop. But that's just me. Norwich up 1-0, a little bit of championship action there from W&G. Much love and happiness for you to be there. And I know that that's a controversial take. And I know that if John is eavesdropping, he'll be racing to the keyboard to pound at the keyboard how impressive Mullen has been with his scoring record and how short I am to forget about it. And I don't think that's true. I think it's when we've got somebody stirring the drink, we stay with him. And right now that is Marriott for us. And my word, I am struggling with web paging today. And it is utterly confusing as to how I'm going to be able to get things around here. Jesus. I don't know if you've got an opportunity just to chat for a second there till I get set up. And I apologize to everybody. It's just a late start, and we'll get there eventually.
Back in here while Sean's running off to fix a few things. I've got the Wigan athletic game myself.
Yeah, there's Swirly, and I get the take. That's the obvious. I like Mulstard, and we all know he's a diver. I just think you got the tied for league lead in scoring, who's playing relatively well. I don't think Mullen's quite back 100%. I wouldn't make the change myself, but I'm not Parky. And so waking up and coffee's on the go as we sit back with Bayless under control.
He has to be that. I don't think he has to be that diver, that flopper, that instigator to be effective. There's people that need that. Maybe he needs that to keep himself engaged, but I don't think he's a good player because of it. I don't think that he somehow draws penalty. In hockey, you can get people to be frustrated and draw penalties and all sorts of other things. I don't see that. I don't see, they know he's a flopper. I don't see him getting all the calls and the free kicks and the penalty shots. I don't see any of that. I don't see a defender so upset at him that they do a crappy job. It just seems like a whole lot of unnecessary extra. So
I'm with you. So 5 minutes, 10 seconds in, I'm just going to give you an overview as to how this one has started. Is surprisingly, Wigan Athletic coming out with more of the opportunities. Just had an opportunity there with Hugel, their number 9. Wigan playing their same 4-1-4-1, and that 3-1-4-2 at play for Lincoln. Standing here with G-Cock, and then we've got Sam Tickle, the goalkeeper for Wigan, the name that, I've been calling that out a lot. We've seen a fair number of a fair amount of Wigan games, but as I'm looking at their lineup, other than Tickle, Kerr, Asgard, some of these names a little bit different. I don't recall ranking, but as I say it now, maybe I do. But he's already been on display a couple of times down the right side, featuring for Wigan, who on the momentum meter have had all of the momentum so far, 6 minutes in, just passing now at 6:03. So Silko Thomas chasing after the ball, thumped down the pitch, and not much there. It's going to be an easy throw in, 18-yard box picked up there by Luke Chambers on the left-hand side. It'll be the Crawley Town match is going to be a fascinating one to. Oh boy, I got both boys up. I'm at 6:34 and counting. 4:30 and everybody's up in my house, so that makes it interesting. So I'm quite a ways behind, am I? The website is Lincoln City website. Impossible to find the video, and then when you find it, you end up behind. Going to be a corner from the left side, left-footed in swinger, going to be taken by James Carragher, the left back. Fascinating. Oh no, that's Sean Ruffin, the left back, and easily headed away. Not much there. Oh my word. Both of them are up with her. And the door keeps opening and closing. I'm sorry. Okay. Mass chaos in the house. So I hope everybody else's week is being a little bit more settled than ours has been. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, but it's just been running around. And I get to venture into the U.S. probably tomorrow. Home Depot in Bellingham, Washington. Not the worst place to go, I guess. So far, the verdict is no, but growing on her, and we'll figure out how that all transpires as Wigan does a long ball down the left-hand side, and it's able to get control of it through Chambers, through. There we go. Not much as far as activity. A scrambly game through the middle of the pitch. Another battle in the midfield there and under control by Lincoln City. They draw it on back. And that's going to be Arahone under control, draws it back to his midfield down to the left-hand side and easily cleared. Nothing there from Kerr and down the pitch. Catamarteri's only had one touch. And somebody in Lincoln City hits the gains and they crank the volume up in my ears. Jackson with it, draws it back. Control from Lincoln City, 20 yards away, and they're going to try from their goal, and they're trying to clear it down the middle of the pitch and easily headed down and cleared out away by Wigan. It'll be a Lincoln throw-in 40 yards from goal as the brain is starting to fire and everything's starting to connect, and we're getting somewhere. I would love, and Brennan's got the comment there. I want Moles and Merritt. I love Eminem at the same time, but I just don't think it'll happen. I had an opportunity. It's been 8 years, and for the first time, I had the chance, so I took it. Yeah, I did answer Marie, I think, as far as did the wife like it, and the answer is initially no, but starting to potentially grow. I recorded it. I was hoping to see as we're on a pause here. I don't think it's just because the shoes are being tied, but maybe it was an extended break to make sure that Jeffries could tie his shoes, and he throws it on back anyway and doesn't take the throw, and is thrown to the 18-yard box and just runs harmlessly for a goal. 10 minutes and 35 seconds coming up there, and not a lot going on in this one. Frustration being the expected goals 0.05 to 0. We've had one shot on goal. It hasn't hit target. And not much else going on. Passings at 48% for Lincoln City. 84%, much better with Wrexham. It does look as though Lincoln City is attempting to get the ball forward with a purpose, trying to get more direct, but absolutely nothing is working for them. Or Wigan a little bit more comfortable possession. I like the idea that you guys are asking me as though I control my facial hair. I don't. I will do as I'm told. Yeah, I'm with Brendan's comment there as far as the teams trying to get away with. Crawley at home would be a game that I think that we'll be the favorites, whether it's Mullen or Merritt, which is to me the position that requires the change. And I know I'm speaking ill of EOC again, which is a little bit too frequent. And I watched that second goal again, and I'd like to see Scar and what he can do in the midfield or in the middle of that back line. But that's not necessarily because EOC is playing poorly, but you went out and you got that guy. Give him a shot. Give him a shot to be that guy and see what you're dealing with in an actual league game. I mean, the disadvantage for the people that are regular starters is the opportunity for somebody to come out and have a cracking game against Crawley is certainly long kick direct from the goalkeeper. And guess what? It just goes out for another goal kick on the other side. This is par for the course of a Wigan Athletic game. Scrambly, draw you. Like this would be playing the Boston Bruins, getting drug along the walls, and nothing's ever pretty, but I guess I can't criticize Boston. They end up winning more than they lose it. But won't win any style points this one. Under control and a half for the first time, and as I say that, almost lost it as Wigan pushes forward here. 13 minutes gone. Wigan pushes it forward, ends up getting it out. It's going to be a throw in for Lincoln City. And I keep wanting to call him Huddersfield, and I don't know why. Yeah, it's Wigan. Wigan has had possession, but it's all been at the back. Nothing really coming forward. And this Lincoln looks to be a team that is comfortable in counterattack, and they're pushing forward and more direct. The problem is that when you're sitting at 40% passing, you're not going to get anything in control. So you've got Wigan sitting in the back line. I mean, they haven't crossed the half here yet, and no, they're going to kick it back and go to the center backs and rewind it. And so it's Wigan with the ball standing around their midfield, the midfield stripe, 40 yards back, trying to advance it forward, and they're going to take that opportunity here. Through Matt Smith, gets it over to the right-hand side. Rankine finally maybe moving forward. No, drawing it back, and that's going to go to Smith again. All the way back to the midfield stripe, and it's Jason Kerr, the captain, gets it along to Aimson, over to Chambers, and he draws it back, and he's going to go to Aimson. No, he goes back to tickle the goalkeeper. 14 minutes and 32 seconds of watching Wigan practicing their kickabout in the back. 20 yards away from goal now, all the way back. Interesting. A2Z wants Parky to drop TOC and get Scar in instead. TOC sucked last game. I didn't notice. See, I thought EOC had a bit of a rough game last one. Up forward to Catamarteria, the Sheffield Wednesday man, not able to get there, and it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick for Zachary Geacock. And isn't that the nice thing to have so early? Is at the end of the day, we're talking about preferences. We've only lost once, and it was a way to the top team in the league and the one who's expected to win all the way through. And we're sitting there talking about, do we bring in our leading scorer and 10th leading scorer all time for the club and bringing him in for the guy who's leading the league in scoring or tied for the league lead in scoring? A goal kick all the way down, and guess what happens? Out of bounds. Brendan, I know you're in my ears. I don't know how many people are watching, how many people are trusting me to give you the broadcast as you're just following along on this one. But this is atrocious, and I don't want to be hard on anybody, but that was a handball. Advanced forward by Ethan Arahone. He kicks it forward. It hits a right elbow. Yeah, this is like the Reading Wigan game was tough to watch, but at least you had Reading, you had 2 or 3 people with some flashes of brilliance. Right now, I do think, when you're at 46%, that's not going to continue. And so you're going to anticipate that's going to change for Lincoln City as they do finally have control. 18-yard box, moving it over, attempted to get across it, and that looked like it banged out, and it's going to go for a corner there, as that was Ruffin and Jeffries working over on the left hand. Or sorry, that was Carragher, who happened to be on the left-hand side. I'll have to have a look at the camera angles and see what they are. I think Marriott has cemented his position at starting 11. Might swap Marriott and Moles after game 10. Whoa, corner, right-footed in-swinger, way too far, blown down for a foul in the middle of the box. For able to get pushing and shoving, and a scrambly game gets even scramblier, as it's going to be Zachary Geacock, or sorry, Sam Tickle grabbing it and moving it back. Wow. We're 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes into this thing. It's tough to, we're still at 0.05 expected goals and 0 for Lincoln City with just the one shot. Let me hit the refresh button. Maybe, nope, that's where we're at. Who made me watch this and voted for this? Shame on you. Because this one, scramble ball in the midfield, controlled by Wigan. Is he going to be able to do something with that? Oh, man. Well, a nice little touch there actually turned out to be in a good little tackle. So that was Carragher coming over and able to do a slide tackle on Tom Bayliss, and who came around the left-hand side, draws back, and it's going to be a little bit of control here as Geacock comes all the way out, about 35 yards out, to do a long looping switch over to the left-hand side. The 2 players there colliding and under control, but almost given away by Dion Rankine, but he's able to maintain control, draws it all the way forward. There's the giveaway, and gives it away. Lincoln City. They're going to give it away. Trying to keep track of who has the ball, but it's going to end up being Jensen Weir pulling away, gets down the left-hand side. Silko Thomas, 18-yard box, first opportunity, left footer. Just deflected away, but it's there for a shot. Ball bouncing all over the place, and there was the first interplay of any activity that happened with that crossing ball that Geacock able to get that and punch it away, but it ends up over on the left-hand side, and Dion Rankine is there and not able to get it. And here we come on the counterattack as we got an opportunity, 18-yard box, crossed out and easily stopped. Oof. Tom Bayliss down the left side draws it back, and a Wigan player standing there able to clear. I believe that to be Ethan Arahone. Easy to discern who he is with the glowing yellow flocks running around as Chelsea goes up 2-0 on West Ham. opened up, and this is I'm starting to get the MO from Lincoln City here. Is they look very Wrexham like as far as I wonder what their possession stats are for the season. As we've got Silko Thomas down the left-hand side, 18-yard box, draws it back. Asgard, nice little dance. He gets pulled down, and we're going to have a free kick from a dangerous spot 20 yards out, and I think it was the right call. McGrandles, great name. Sounds like sounds like a breakfast sandwich that you'd get from McDonald's. McGrandles. I'll take 2 hash browns with that, please. Yeah, he just draws the right leg and pulls down Asgard, and so this will be 19, 20 yards out, and one of those ones that's, if you can get this up and down, it's dangerous. But how good are you at curling the ball, Philo Asgard? McGrandles. Right foot. Ooh, right into the chest of G-Cock, who grabs it easy and clears it. Right footer split the gap. They had a four player and then 1 player gap, but nothing on the ball to spin it. Ooh, opportunity wasted. Tendai Dariqua. I'll tell you what, these announcers get really excited over really nothing opportunities. 18-yard box, had open space, and instead he takes a right-footed sort of half-hearted shot that just goes into the belly of the keeper with no real threat. Yeah, hopefully they don't have the same incident you heard that happened in Birmingham, where the things were being thrown down over top of the Wrexham players, but I expect that being an issue. The question is everybody going to stay seated after the announcement that I'm sure came from the EFL to the club that they could reduce their capacity if there's too much standing at the football match? Offside, Wigan Athletic. A little bit of activity here. %66, 34%. You're starting to see Lincoln City win a little bit on the momentum meter and turning the balance of just Wigan kicking it about in the back. And as I say that, they head it down, and here comes Lincoln City trying to settle it down, but they'll draw it back to on the left-hand side. Ruffin to O'Connor to Jackson, right-footed, long ball down the right-hand side, way too far, and just going to go and get collected by the keeper, Mr. Tickle. They've got some great names in this one. Sam Tickle, McGrandle. I'm looking for McGrandle, and I don't actually see him on. Where's McGrandle on the list here? 14. Was he oh, there he is. It's covered off by the FOT mob numbers. Oh boy. And if you are watching this one, another thing I didn't know, because I haven't done the Who Are You for Lincoln City, they've gone with the Doncaster jersey manufacturer, Oxen, which I like the increasing use of smaller manufacturers that are happening. I wish the color palette was a little bit more popish for the jerseys made by Oxen. It's like a muted red, and that's the one concern I have, is everything looks like it's just a little bit dull for as far as the kit. It doesn't pop as much. You think that would have been the council? I would have told the council to pound sand. Why would the council be concerned? I mean, insurance. Why would the council be concerned of standing in a stadium? That's a UK phenomenon that I wouldn't be able to explain, Swirly. You'd have to help me out on that one. I can see the EFL doing that for crowd control purposes. Is it police? If you stand, you get rowdy? I get that. I get that at hockey games, but that's because everybody sits in the church. And I will say, there's the Vancouver Whitecaps have an organization called Southsiders. That's their loud group on the far side. You didn't get to see them because none of them came to the Wrexham match. But they pick out one game every year and they fill out the top part of the south side of the stadium. And they're all together and they stand up and the stewards come and tell them to sit. And they're like, we'll take the annual ban. We don't care. But it's fascinating. I'm like, they're all together. There's literally 300 of them bought their seats in a block. They're only interfering with each other. So let the fans decide whether they can't see. I mean, to me, it was Tim that said it best, is if you've got people around you who need to can't see because of their mobility issues or age or whatever, old or too young, then be respectful and have a seat. But if you're with a bunch of your rowdies and your friends, it's just you guys around, do whatever the hell you want. So the safety license, interesting. I don't get it. 25 minutes and 30 seconds coming up in 7, 6, 5. And this game is just Wigan Athletic in the back. 2-1, and there it is, 25-30, and draws it all the way back. And it's going to be Jason Kerr, the captain, on the switch to the right-hand side through Carragher, who has it. Carragher drawing it back, midfield stripe, gets it on back to Jason Kerr, who's now in possession of it, looking up the field down the left-hand side. And he's just going to chip it along a little bit to Will Ameson, because why not? Kicking between your center backs is fun. They've tried to advance it forward, and there's a push in the back from a Wigan Athletic player. That's Luke Chambers getting too much physicality in, and it's going to be Lincoln with the free kick. LNER, the train state company that usually for years sponsored the Doncaster Rovers. I find it interesting. I don't know how long their connection has been with Lincoln City and why the swap. But anyway, they've moved over as their graphic keeps popping up as we have the referee having a stern talking to two players. Not helping the flow of the game between the shoe tying session. This is now the second scolding that he's had between two players, and they're having a laugh. They're like buddies on the playground. They may know each other because they're having a chuckle that they got scolded by the referee. Lincoln, bad first touch there from Matthew Smith, and not quite a giveaway as it's able to get controlled. And here comes Lincoln City down the middle of the pitch. And I do like this, is when Lincoln City has it, they're pushing the ball forward, but not able to get there. It's pushed off the ball. Lincoln City calling for a foul. I don't think there was a foul on that one. I thought it was actually a pretty good tackle and then a flop on a bit of a light contact. I'd be upset if I got called for that being a foul. But Wigan draws it back, left-hand side. Going to build up through Silko Thomas. That is a fascinating name. Is Chesterfield in League Two. Goes up on Cheltenham. And has Cheltenham got Luke Young playing for him today? I don't know. It's up to Thomas. Is he going to be able to keep that in? He does. 18-yard box, and he almost beats his man. Doriqua came all the way back and is into the middle of the box, and a backheel touch doesn't get through, and it gets kicked out and cleared. And here comes the pressure. Poor ball. And here comes on a Tom Bayless on a failed clear 18-yard box, and it's going to be tried to Katamatari's in the box, right footed, doesn't get at him, and instead there's like 5 people in front. Instead of doing anything with the ball, he just bashes it off the shins, and Lincoln City's going to grab it and kick it all the way back. It's here, Ruffin, or is it Ruhan? Ruffin looking into the box, and he just skies it from 35 yards out and sticks his hand up in shame. As was a solid, what would you call that? 20 yards up in the air from 30 yards out. It's fortunate. He waters it. He's fortunate that didn't clear the stadium. Almost hit the camera on the top of the stadium from that angle. Goofy, I'm with you. I think what more can you do than lead the league in scoring? And you have people calling for him to get yanked. What the hell is going on? I don't get it. I know Mullen's Mullen, and I get it. No player should lose their starting position because of an injury, et cetera, et cetera. But he looks good. He looks good. It wasn't Marriott that cost us that game against Birmingham. So I just don't see how you pull him out. But what do I know? Arrowhone losing control of an 18-yard box. Wigan has to get quick as the pressure is on and forces an error as it's collected by Dom Jeffries, who draws it back to the right-hand side. Jackson swinging it over to O'Connor. O'Connor over to Ruffin. Ruffin, 10 yards on his midfield stripe, tries to advance it forward, and that had to be a handball. The crowd is screaming for it. Nothing given. Bounced off of his foot and kind of bounced off the ground and came up into his arms, and he knocked it back down and cleared it. But anyway, after two long balls go back and forth, it's settled down by the Wigan. The Latics have it there with Will Ameson over through the other side. Matthew Smith. Carragher. Rankine now, right-hand side. Carragher looking, one of their center back or one of their back line slides it all over. They're pushing forward from the midfield. Will Ameson up as now we're 35 yards out. Maybe something brewing with Silko Thomas on the left-hand side, 20 yards, right footer looking for the far post. Nothing easy over the top. I don't know if he was looking for Dean Rankine and just completely missed him, or if that was an intentional shot at goal from way over on the sideline, but not pressuring or pressurizing Zachary Geacock in any way. What a garbage game. Yeah, I don't get that. We'll talk about that at the halftime, won't we? Accrington 1-0 over Port Vale, as Brendan talking about Parkinson's criticisms as far as not playing a beautiful brand of football. I'd give a card for that. Instead, he gets a scolding. So that's Ethan Arrowhone. I don't know why he did that. He picked the ball up in a 0-0 game. Defense is all back, and he took control of the ball, and he walked a solid 5 yards. And then when the player came to get it, act all foolish, and then threw the ball away. To me, that's enough. Yet to be determined. All points bulletin going out soon. I figured there's going to be more comments on my beard today than there is about the game. Branston.com. Isn't that the people who do pickles? Why is the Horde saying we love potatoes? What's Branston doing with potatoes? Somebody in the UK help me out, because I only know Branston is like a sweet relish that tastes like milk. Branston pickle sandwiches. It's like having a chip buddy. I wish I had something to talk about, but the gaps in between the game and the referee is not doing a good job at controlling this. There are so many stops and starts and stops and starts. And we're with Knott's going. I haven't looked at League Two. I mean, outside the first couple of weeks, I have not really looked at the League Two table. Forward, not backwards. And so if Knott wants to jump up into League One, fill your boots his way. I just don't want to see Jody Jones, who I actually did see one, the Twitter feed punishing me, telling me that he just signed a new 2-year contract a week and a half ago. But anyway, Kim, nice to have you here and appreciate you being here as we soak this one in. 33 minutes and 20 seconds coming up right now as it's Wigan doing Kim's favorite thing to do, having a kick about with their center backs, and Lincoln trying to do counterattacks, but just not connecting at all with their new shiny toy in Catamarteri up on the left-hand side next to Ben House. Ben House, their leading scorer, and I think he's only got 2. Like, this is a thing from watching Birmingham play us. I mean, they were so clinical, and you look at Huddersfield, who I don't think has looked good. Rotherham obviously hasn't been looking good. Bolton's been struggling so far. You've got, and I get it's early in the season. There's going to be times that change, but and maybe Wrexham guilty of being overly clinical. But you watch games like this, or the game that we watched with Reading against Wigan, or the game that we watched at Huddersfield and Rotherham, and they just, the smell test doesn't pass. Like I will say here, Wigan now with probably about 25 passes in a row, but still holding the ball at the midfield stripe is they got it to 40 yards before a tackle happened, and then another scramble and it goes out. Like just that's a good solid 90 seconds of effective passing along the back line before it was just the one opportunity to try to push it 10 yards forward, and it gets knocked out, and Lincoln City's going to come the other way. Millwall, Queen's Park. I had a bad dream that Wrexham loses the game today after a red card incident. Talked me down from the ledge. Yeah. I will say this. I just can't see Crawley scoring. If there's going to be, I can't. It's possible there's a draw here, but I just can't see a circumstance where Crawley ends up taking this one. And that's so much changeover. You go through their roster and I just don't see it there. So we've got a free kick, and that was the flop dancing above my head on that one. Lost the ball, and did Matthew Smith, and then started rolling on the ground, and it's going to be a 35-yard out free kick, left footer, trying to get it across the ball. Yes, but he's our diver. That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. Jody Jones, yeah, I don't know. Here's the question that I have regarding Mullen and his flopping and complaining and his antics and that sort of stuff is, has it gotten, like, in my eyes, that wasn't who he was 2 years ago? Do I have that wrong? You started with the streaming half of the games in the National League and then the games last year. And I think it just started to get ramped up at the end of last season. And this season, it's just been nuts. Don't want to be critical of a man who scores as much as he does. And spiritual advisor told me to pay attention to these things. The bad mojo and the red cards. Don't speak it into existence, Kim. Did your spiritual advisor tell you that? Don't speak it into existence. Ruffin with it. Long ball searching down the middle of the pitch. Easily headed away by Wigan, and it's going to go down to the right-hand side. And that was Arahone who tries to advance it forward. Nothing there. Just back and forth over the head there. And maybe can we get something settled down here by Deriqua over on the right-hand side? He's on Silko Thomas, draws it back, middle of the pitch now, pass back, so horrible pass back. And it's Arahone who's got to scramble and get control of it and kick it back to his center backs. And it's Poddy O'Connor with it over to the left-hand side to Ruffin. Ruffin down the left wing then. Dom Jeffries drawing it in, and it's going to go back to Ruffin. This is the first little kickabout that Lincoln City's had, and we're at the 38-minute mark where they're a little bit of control all the way back to G-Cock with the back pass. And he just grabs it and hoofs it down the entirety of the field, and it's headed into the midfield and cleared away by Matthew Smith. O'Connor back to G-Cock, right footer. Like, and what was the point of that kick? That's now like the third kick in a row where G-Cock just looking to say, look at how hard I can kick the ball. I'll kick it down, and for the third time, it either runs out of bounds or goes all the way to Sam Tickle and just easily gets collected. We're through a half a football mired in garbage. Sean lost a bet with a Birmingham fan. Not true. But well done for Brendan pulling that one out. Bought a house, wanted to celebrate. Decided this was going to be midlife crisis. I went for a run, never done that. Shaved the beard, first time in 8 years. Bought a house. What the hell? Cross, 18-yard box, headed away. Wigan Athletic opportunities opportunities on the right-hand side. Rankine. Yard box looking for a cross. He's dancing. He's shimmy. Oh, he draws it through. Nutmegs and left footer. Oh, impressive walking. Dion Rankin. Yikes. There's a little bit of magic. If he nutmegs and completely embarrasses this defender. Whoop, right through his leg. Ole. Pick your jockstrap up, Dom Jeffries. You just got danced. That's going to be on highlights. Goes through two players, gets it in, works around one, left footer, and it ends up being blocked before it rolls up into the hands of Peacock, and not much ultimately turned out from that, except for the beautiful play to get there. Interesting, because I'm not doing anything. No, and I was saying I missed out. I mean, I'm 47 this year. And when I remember when my dad went through his midlife crisis and he picked up rollerblades and Wrangler jeans and cowboy boots. And I was like, what a weird combination that is. And here I am having my midlife crisis and I didn't pick up a damn thing. Yeah, well, I'm probably going to have to do the beard, no beard, aren't I, when we get into the Wrexham game. We'll save that one for the match. Man, that Dion Rankin shimmy is going to be the only takeaway and highlight of the first half, but it's probably worth looking up on Twitter if you get the chance. W&G, just wanted to say, I appreciate you, my friend, being with us again, throwing the scores out. QPR pulls back equal in the championship with Millwall. And it's going to be 18-yard throw in here. Is Adam Jackson moving up on the right-hand side is going to grab this thing and look to try and looks like he's lining up for a Tozer bomb. The run is on. He's cheated himself forward 4 yards. Ooh, misplayed, bad header, bounces around, but then cleared, and it's going to land on the feet of Dom Jeffries, who crosses far post, and now offside flag goes up. House got too far up there. Hey, causing some problems. Kim with the convertible and a co-ed. Oh, I'd get into trouble. No, and the thing is I grew up in small town Saskatchewan. So we're talking like farming community, but we were townies. We didn't have a farm, and here everybody else who does wear Wranglers and cowboy boots is actively farming, and here's my dad, the townie, wearing the same thing. Glasses, no glasses. It's going to get to the point where I'm not going to be able to dress myself. Can't see who the Lincoln player is that's down here, but we've got some delay here. If I buy a convertible, you'll need an intervention. I won't be able to afford it with all the renovations. Went out Thursday and picked up all the tile and countertops and construction and measured all that sort of stuff off on Thursday. And when I came back, I said, we pretty much just dropped about $80,000 in Canadian. So that's like $10 US, $7.50 in the UK. £7. It was so that's my midlife crisis. Thanks, Chris. I was a homeowner before, but we had a fire. And we bought our first home, lived in it, renovated it, lived in it for a year, and then couldn't live in it because of a condo fire that destroyed half of the building. Ours survived. We ended up being able to sell that and snapped up the other one. And so we're doing the renovation thing again. Got a good contractor, and it gives you some comfort that you're going to be able to do what you want. So who would have thought that wasn't the plan, but rolling with it. Accrington Stanley up 2-0 on Port Vale. Boxers or briefs. That's fair, Adam. Townies and farmers like the same to city folk. As Wigan long hoof ball down the middle of the pitch, and it's scrambled, lost by Matthew Smith, and here comes Cardamateri the other way. Bayless wasn't able to get that one out wide to Dom Jeffries, and so it's going to just be a turnover, and now we've got a free kick going the other way as wow. Jackson pulling down Joe Hugel. Did the card come out? It looks like it did. I see it getting pushed back in. One of those professional fouls on a giveaway where you end up having Hugel with a possibility to go running down the middle of the pitch in some open space, so he just gets grabbed and as he gets beaten by Jackson. That's got to be a yellow card. Right-footed hip check and a beauty. 45 minutes, man. I hope we don't have a lot of added time. I don't want to have to suffer through any more of this. This is I'm glad I only paid the 10 quid to watch this on a video. I'd hate to be in. I guess it's a beautiful day. If I was getting rained on in Lincoln City, I'd be a little bit more upset. You can tell how this game is going by the chat topics. Exactly. Long entry into the box and then simply cleared. Ben House thumping that down the right-hand side. Going to be a long throw coming here potentially from Wigan. James Carragher looking up. Is he going to do a type of Tozer bomb? He's stepping back and no, it's just going to be a quick one. Oh, he does throw it over the top. A surprise one. Easily collected and cleared by Lincoln in just 1 minute of added time, despite all the criticisms I've had of the game being so slow. It's like the referees didn't want to punish us anymore. How do you get the shoe tie? We had 3 scolding sessions from the official. We had that player that was just down for at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I was expecting probably 5 minutes to suffer through. They throw up the hoarding or the board and just say, it's 1 minute of added time. Nobody wants to watch this. Everybody wants to go home. We should play at halftime. Who can find how to purchase this game the fastest? Because I'll tell you, the website for Lincoln City is so bad that I actually had to go to Google and type in the game itself and iFollow and figure it all out because you couldn't. The Lincoln website is just atrocious. This game is atrocious. A 0-0 snooze fest. Do we even look at the stats on this one? 8 English matches at the moment, and yours is the only game where they haven't scored yet. Not only not scored, well, you know what? They say there were 2 shots on target. The XG for this, and I know we're critical of XG, and I take it for its criticisms for what they're worth. Lincoln City sitting at 0.07. 0.07. Like, that's not even a sniffer on goal to get 0.07. And Wigan Athletic at 0.19. So we're not looking at a lot of love. Tell me, Brendan, if you do put those stats up.
Yeah, they're up. Yeah,
they're up. So you got that one. The total shots 5-2. Total shots on target 2-1. No big chances. No surprises there. The accurate passes. Lincoln City has been trying to be quick and more direct through the middle of the pitch, similar to what Wrexham would do. And I guess this would be us at our worst. Can we get to 64% and look this bad? I don't know. I guess always possible. Knock on wood, it's not today. Accurate passes 216, which for the amount of possession that they've had and the amount of time they've been throwing it around in the back isn't as good as I would have expected. But you go through the rest of it, they've got a 0.07 from open play. That's the only opportunity they've had, and their XG on target 0.04 to 0.02. God, this is not an advertisement for EFL. I'll tell you that much. Yes, Deandra, I've got that. And yes, we're interested in having you. I was meaning to send the chat. I've been away. So we'll connect with you at some point to see if we'll have to send you the link. I've got it. And maybe during the break in the half, or I'll send you the link and you can come in and test it, and Brendan can make sure everything works, and then you can happily join me tomorrow morning as we take on Britain Ferry, let's talk about something different than this game and the set. I'm really excited for that game tomorrow between Britain Ferry, and I know that they're the recently promoted side. You don't think that you're going to get too much, but you have to remember 2 years ago, before Wrexham went semi-pro, Wrexham played Britain Ferry, and by all accounts, I didn't go and watch the game. There wasn't a lot of video highlights out there, but by all accounts, Del Morgan stole that promotion final against Britain Ferry with some exceptional goalkeeping. And had it not been for her, Wrexham probably not in the Adran Premier League until this last year. Britain Ferry does get promotion last year. They do enter things. And so for me, it's a measuring stick sort of how far have the Wrexham women come. And I'm excited to see the match for exactly that purpose. As one would think, we're playing semi-pro. The girls are training more. They've now done the Rex Coast tour. They've had opportunities to live more football than just because they've been getting a little bit of cash for it. So, and there's Deandra saying, yeah, Del Morgan basically ensured our promotion. So that's why this match is fascinating for me tomorrow, because you're going away and you think, okay, the recently promoted side entering their way into the Adrian Premier League, we're probably going to be the favorites. I think this is still potentially a really tough battle, and one hopes that we're able to sneak it away, because if not, then that's potentially something for the club to look internally on.
Yeah, if you didn't, obviously you were running, but I wasn't saying I was overly critical, but I was probably more critical than you are typically in the games. Some of the new people they had on, a lot of our favorites from last year weren't playing or started on the bench, and seemed to be a decent amount better when they came on. No Pritchard and Lightfoot, and it was just, I'm not sure that was our best lineup that was out there to start that game. I don't know if there were reasons for that, but I hope they make some lineup changes.
Yeah, we'll see. And Dell didn't play, and I guess Deandra saying the new keeper a bit of yikes, and that's two keepers in a row. Last year they went and got a player who had all stock, and she didn't play really, really well. XG is expected goals. It's a metric that they use in the UK where they take all of the scoring opportunities, shots on target, where they come from. And it's basically a calculation that says if you get a shot from this angle in this circumstance, it's going to go into the back of the net 1% of the time, 10% of the time, whatever it is. And they add those metrics up and they give you a collection of what you would anticipate to see as far as expected goals in any game based on the quality of the play that occurred in front of the keeper. And so when you end up seeing something like a 0.07 XG or even a 0.2 XG, that means there's essentially a 20% likelihood there would have been a goal based on the opportunities that were before Wigan this game, a 7% likelihood there'd be a goal based on the opportunities for Lincoln City. And we're sitting here at 0-0. I'd say usually the expected goal is lower than the actual goals that are scored. I think that the stats are, as a calculation, is a little bit off. If it sits there at 1.9, you usually expect to see 3 goals on the board rather than just the 2. But it's a nice metric to say for teams to be able to say, it was unfortunate the result that we had because our XG was through the roof. But then a lot of people speak ill of the metric because it doesn't quite get the quality of play that builds up into that expected goal. And so if you've got, somebody over on the right wing who's just beating somebody nonstop all day long and the service is going in, but there's no shots, there's no ultimate conclusion opportunity. They don't give you the added credit for the build-up as much as they do where the location are that those shots and opportunities are taken from. So, and you can go ahead, Brandon. I'll just finish. I'll just finish here. As I'm talking over you. If you go to FOTMob, actually, then you can kind of see where the XG comes from. And you go to the Lincoln City Wigan Athletic match, underneath a shot map that they have on that chart next to the stats. So you'd have facts, commentary, lineup table stats. If you hit there, it has a shot map, and there you'll see at the 40-yard mark, Rankin kicked the ball from the right-hand side, and he got 0.04 for his XG for the quality of shot that he took there. Hugo got a 0.05 for his opportunity from the right side of the box, and at the 5-minute mark, there was another 0.04 from the same area for Rankin. So they tally those up based on where those opportunities were. So they don't get the build up, they don't get the full capture of the play, but it's just basically opportunities, what would have happened. Sean's brother sounds the same.
I was going to say, at least my opinion watching this game, Wigan looks like they might have a little bit more talent offensively. Rankin, not just the nutmeg, he looks kind of quick, and but I was impressed with how many defenders he beat 2 or 3 guys on the right, and there were still 3 guys to get in there and stop him from scoring. So I thought that Lincoln's defense was impressive. Wigan's defense was okay. I think they unnecessarily waste a ton of time in the back. They take 0 chances. They seem to unnecessarily just keep pushing it further back, almost as if they feel that they're getting some points for holding the ball. I mean, it just they don't even look upfield half the time.
No.
It was just a snoozer of a game. And the other thing I would say about this is unbelievable how few people are at the game. There's like 2 ends. There's like 6 fans in the area that could probably hold several thousand. You know, it's really weird to see so little fans at a big stadium in a team like Lincoln. You'd think they'd be able to put some butts in seats, but no. So,
and you'd think that to be true, probably even more so given where they are in the standings. They're not falling off, but as you suggested it, I brought up the League One attendance from Transfer Market, and they're not even at 50% for the season, like of 50% capacity for the season. And you go down the lineup as far as that didn't go to attendances, that went to something else. So
they're 6th in the table, for goodness sakes. Why are you already bailing on your team?
And they have an average of 9,789 spectators, and they have a stadium that will fit 19,000. So we're talking pretty horrible numbers. Interesting. Anyway, all good, Chris. And let's be honest, I'm learning too. This whole web thing, YouTube thing, has all started just largely because I knew nothing about the teams and I just wanted to learn. And so started to make some videos about that and said, let's do a watch along. And now all of a sudden we got a wonderful little community, 55 countries, still adding to it. I don't know if the banner's running down below that has. If you're watching from another country that's not there, let us know. And I didn't do this, even though it's a bonus. All of these watch alongs as well being brought to you ad free because of Ultimate Promotions, ultimatepromotions.biz, ultipromo.com. If you're looking for pins or badges or medals, things similar to the red Horde pin here, hard enamel, soft enamel, custom artwork, they'll do the whole thing, produce it. You have activities where you want to get those big adorned medals that are out there with all the painting stuff in it, free artwork, free shipping, all based out of Western Canada. They've got 48 years of experience and a whole lot of large companies that order from them. So check them out, ultipromo.com, ultipromotions.biz, ultimatepromotions.biz. All right, Deandra, signing out and probably back in the middle of the half. Well, at least that's comfortable. Deandra noting before she left there that Lincoln Twitter comments are not impressed by this game either. I mean, you go to the table and they add a point, and that keeps them exactly basically where they are. They sit at 6th place. If they're able to secure the 3, they're going to jump all the way out to the top of the table while everyone else plays an extra game coming up here. So an important home game against a team that you'd expect to be able to pull something from. For Wigan, there's just a mess in the middle of that table, all stuck at 7 points, and they'd pull up to 7 points temporarily. But I'm starting to wonder if that's where that divide is going to be, is those teams that are from sort of 9-10 down, whether they're going to fall off a little bit. And I guess we'll have a look at the table and see what it looks like at the end of the day. What else can we talk about here? We've talked about the women. We've talked about, do we get back into the Moles Married changes that you're anticipating? We're only 30 minutes away from those and that being announced. If you didn't know, right at 1 hour prior to game time, wherever you are, if you go to Twitter, you'll get the rosters and the lineups all get released by everybody in the EFL at the same time. I know what I wanted to talk about, the whole Cardiff thing. There were people talking about being the opportunity to play in the championship and the Wrexham versus Cardiff struggle. what A to Z was talking about it. And A to Z, would you feel? I mean, if we go up and Cardiff City goes down, does that feel like a missed opportunity? Because I think most people, as much as they celebrate, hey, we're a league higher, I think the real magic is being able to play them in the matches, and I think that'd be a lost opportunity. Is it odd that I'm actually cheering and hoping that Cardiff City's able to figure it out? I think I've not an easy one to turn it around on is they're at home to Leeds United today, who, to be fair, Leeds not having the typical start to the season that they normally have, sitting at 9th for a team that's looking to try to get back up into the Prem. But man, it's Blackburn Rovers out of nowhere, undefeated so far in the championship, which is always fascinating. But you've got Cardiff City, Portsmouth, and Preston sitting in the bottom, and Sheffield Wednesday still struggling, and Luton Town, who ran all the way up, sitting just in 20th. And there's, A to Z, I'd feel gutted. I think it is. I think it's one of those celebratory gut punches. I mean, I'm sure everybody would be on Twitter giving them the gears and haranguing them, but I think at the end of the day, the magic is being able to play them.
I think it's far more important that we get into the championship than whether or not we get to play them.
We'll get to play Cardiff. Yeah, no, I guess if you were choosing and somebody said, your option is you get to go in the championship, but you don't get Cardiff, I think people would take it rather than have Cardiff come down and having to face them next season in League One, should that be the case. But the more I look at the teams around us, the more, and I don't think, I mean, I understand bias, and I am going to be biased, and I certainly say things that are biased, but it's a truly held belief after watching the top teams in League One that I certainly think Wrexham is in the mix and potentially a favorite for at least promotion, which at the start of the year I would have never thought I would have suggested. We haven't seen Charlton Athletic. But we've seen Birmingham. They were impressive. I think put them in the top spot.
It's about to start.
Yeah, and I've got that. The game's about to start. We're underfoot, and so I'll call it. But you've got Stockport, Huddersfield, Lincoln, Barnsley. We've seen a handful of those teams, and just none of them really standing out. I would like to see a Charlton Athletic game, so we'll keep an eye out for that and when we might be able to get that. And everybody thinking they're going to pull it together, and that's always assuming that we get up there, which is tough. And we're underway. And a double whistle? No, we're going to let that one continue. We'll see if the paint coming off the walls at all, and somebody got interested in getting into this one. Wigan with it. Silko Thomas down the left-hand side. 3 men swarm him, and he's able to get it over to Asgard. Asgard bumps it down. Chambers all the way up from his left back position, hammers it in, 18-yard box, and Wigan Athletic with a little bit of pressure early. Asgard left side draws it back. Thomas over to Smith and all the way around as we're going to get the switch here. Yeah, and that's A2Z. We talk about that frequently, that the EFL and football in general seems to be not so much who do you buy and how good are you. It's dealing with the slumps and how quickly, because every team runs into them, are you able to turn it around? And so we'll see, as you know, hopefully the game against Birmingham on Monday was just a blip, and it doesn't become something worse. It'll be an interesting dynamic to see the next 4 games, as I think these are ones for Wrexham that they'd be expecting to take a healthy chunk of points from, if not all, as difficult as that is to win 4 in a row outright. But it's one where everybody's impressed that they took 13 out of the points out of the first 6. Now we got to find out what we do with the next 4. As Wigan with some control here, they were able to push for the first time, but now we're doing the center back kickabout from 35 yards away from their keeper. Tickle standing there looking pretty as it's just hoofed over the middle of and cleared away. Lincoln City. And the number of times that the female announcer for Lincoln City has used the word frustrator, we're looking to breaking a potential Guinness World Record here. Absolutely. Good morning, Alex. Nice to see you. I hope you're able to find your coffee and you've missed an atrocity of a game. And I don't say that as a gross exaggeration either. There's just been nothing in this. It's been 2 long balls back and forth. And now Wigan looking to control it and losing it. Asgard trying to regain it, goes out of bounds. I wish I could fix it. There's, I didn't touch a bloody thing. So I don't know what's going on. I have been trying to design my little new space when I get that opportunity. Nice thing, Christmas coming, so I might be able to ask for some extra add-ons from the kids. Smith switch, like what? Tell me where that kick was. He's 40 yards out as Smith, and I don't even know what the thought process is on that kick, because he's not out wide to the left winger, the to try and control it. It's not through the middle of the area to give his forward an opportunity to get to it. It's just an aimless kick that misses everybody. Yeah, I'm not worried about staying top it now. For now, I just want to be in that top 6, and I'd love to see the divide continue between the teams at the top and the teams at the bottom. Is what, like, Ruffin and Jeffries just all by themselves, nobody over there to challenge him. They kick the ball forward to one, and he draws it back. He gets the return pass, and it misses him entirely and just rolls out for a goal kick. This game is making me believe that I could be a professional footballer. That's how bad it is. But as much as I don't want the Bolton fans, because they've been civil and, we've got an opportunity here. Katamateri into the box, tries to swing it back, but just nobody there, and easily collected. Olmson's able to clear. Wigan now with it. Asgard. Oh, finally he just goes to ground softly with that wasn't even a flop. What would you call that from Asgard? The exasperated drop. As he lost control of the ball and and the referee gave him the free kick. Yeah, I'm the same way, Swirly. I mean, I would love to take the number 2 spot. I would love to take an auto spot. But the table is forming potentially. That there's always going to be teams like Donnie who go on a run. There's going to be teams that fall out. But I think you're starting to see who are going to be those teams that are up there pushing. His ranking almost with his first time stirring the drink, but he loses the ball, and Lincoln City turns it the other way. I'm going to click on it to see if we've got any XG magic. 0.26 to 0.11. So a little bit, they say, better here is Silko Thomas just dances his counterpart. 18-yard box crossed in, headed away by Lincoln City. So that was McGrandles, who couldn't handle the handles of Thomas. Lovely ball, the broadcaster announces, that passed on the left side. I have tried to sell a lot of activities. That was a kick out to House. He's going to get a yellow card for that. He's Carragher for the challenge on House, but that was a right-footed pass across the midfield that he described as a lovely ball, and that was Carragher just coming and putting the hands on House, who went down a little easy there. Mr. Cruz, how are you? R.I.P. the beard. I guess this means that I can't get on to Two Beards Australia either. Are they gonna have a moment? Free kick, long-waisted left footer that just goes through the middle of the box, and it's then mistakenly cleared off the outside of the boot by Wigan. We need an error counter. Put up the tick marks. We'd fill the screen. Huddersfield will be up there. You think Stevenage, eh? I don't think Stevenage will be up there. Brendan in the back. Whoa, opportunity there. And that was just a more bumbled towards goal before it suddenly had to be cleared off the line by Tickle, who had to make an athletic sort of dive over to the right. That would have been the perfect way to get a goal for Lincoln City that would have been against everything that was happening, just to get a mistake that goes through. More pressure here from Lincoln. Asgard's got to come all the way back and play with, and he gets it up to ranking, and here comes Wigan Athletic looking to try to, but the press is on from Lincoln, and Tickle goes to clear it, and he just pumps it out. It's going to go for a throw-in from the left-hand side. My beard isn't worthy of two beards either. Yeah, that was a weird one. It was knocked down by, it wasn't even really a shot on goal. It was a long left foot entry into the area, headed down, bounced, and just sort of accidentally entered its way into goal. It would have been the Jackson's most awkward goal of all time, and that's got to be a free kick, and it is. I will say Lincoln's turned up the pressure a little bit here. That was Chambers with the push in the back, and he's going to pick up a foul and the free kick, and away we go. And yeah, like and subscribe while you're here. Let the algorithm know that we're here now that we've waken up. The first 20 minutes of this one, a little bit of a mess. 20 minutes away from the rosters being announced, the starting squad. See if Scar gets a look. See if rumors are that Mullen's going to be out there instead of Marriott. Yeah, I don't have Stevenage coming back around and moving their way up either. Peterborough, I could see getting up into it. I mean, we've seen Wickham and Wigan enough to know that nothing really. Their handball. Nothing given. Wow. Long entry off of the free kick goes into the box and it's headed down. And it's one of those ones where the hand was clearly away from a normal position. Oh, yeah, he had his hands up here, didn't he? But one of those ones was where I think you have to give that one. Just because of where the area in the box, it was 10 yards out and it's headed through as Lincoln still continuing to push forward. As that was Kerr. He had his arms up like this and it got headed towards his elbow and hit his arm. And when you have your arms up like this, to me, that's got to be a... I predicted that was going to be an incident as my eldest not feeling well and just ended up having a yak session. Much love to my wife. Dealing with that this morning. A first right call from the official there who lets that one play on. We got bodies flying all over the place. You know what? There's at least seems to be a little bit more activity going on with this one. I'll take a 0-0 draw on this one. But like you look at it, how many goals has Lincoln scored so far this year? They've scored 10 goals. And just nothing there. No, bite your tongue, A2Z. Why would you want Lincoln to win? You must have some antipathy against Wigan, some sort of hatred seething in your body. Lincoln sitting at 6. They take the win. They move up to 12 points, 13 points. So we'll end up with a corner there. Oh. Left-footed in-swinger coming from Wigan here. I would take a Wigan win, to be completely honest. An away win. Let's call it something funky right here. No, nothing. Nobody there, easily headed away, but it's collected. It's going to be ranking. Last man back, just enters it back into the box and basically just kicks it and gives it to G-Cock. 56-minute mark. Still not a lot of magic in this one. Yikes. I'm curious. I mean, to me, it's if there's somebody who has hatred towards a club, you're going to have hatred to whether they're at the top or the bottom. Could be somebody who thinks that Wigan's got players that could be in the mix more. But for me, Lincoln City is one of those teams that was expected based on the bookies anyway to be up near the top and pushing for. I don't think people had them in the autos, but certainly for a playoff spot. But Lincoln is running around like that. Throw in a perfect example. They're pushing, trying to maintain, trying to get a goal and trying to get their 3 points. Is Arrowhone runs across the entire length of the pitch to try and get a pass. He points to exactly where he wants it, and the center back goes the other way and away from him. They'll have a chat of that about on the video, I'm sure, as Jackson slides it all over and the switch is on over to Ruffin on the left-hand side for Lincoln City. Long ball to right to Catamarteri. He's able to knock it down, but easily flicked up and cleared on and just bouncing around the goal line before just thumped. Whoa. Put it back into the center of the box by Wigan. Fortunate there. Why, in what world, in what universe do you kick it over your head and into the center of the box if you're defending? I hope not. Because it's going to take a couple of weeks to grow this back. If Wrexham goes on a losing streak, I don't want to end up taking any blame for the bad juju. Oh, man. Now the pressure's on. Wrexham better not lose to Crawley today. I'm in trouble. Exeter. Thanks, W&G, for that one again. Goes up 2-0 on Stevenage. And that pushes Exeter City would sit at 9 points. Stevenage sitting at 7. They're going to swap back either way. Chesterfield. Cheltenham draws even there. Yeah, I'm a fan of draws. I will take my exceptions, Thomas, if you've got somebody who's clearly at the bottom of the table. Like, as much as I hate Shrewsbury and Derby and all that sort of stuff, and nobody wants to give any joy to the Sallops, I will take Shrewsbury beating whoever they play when they're sitting that low in the standing. Like, they've got Mansfield today. I'm rooting for Shrewsbury. Same with Cambridge United. It's Catamarteri, the Sheffield United new toy, gets an opportunity, 18-yard box. He's all alone, waiting for support, and he just, pushes the ball with his right foot forward, and it rolls harmlessly out of the area, and it's going to go for a goal kick. Yeah, it'll be 4 games, I think, that we're, to me anyway, before we get back into the teeth of it. Yeah, you just run through it. You got Crawley here. You've got Leyton Orient, who's near the bottom. Stevenage away. And then you've got a home game against Northampton. Follow that up with a trophy match before you get into the teeth of it, where you've got Lincoln City, Rotherham, who may still find their game, Huddersfield, which will be a big match, and then Charlton away. So it's 4 on, 4 off, 4 on. Sean's oldest son is hosting today, I guess. God. Midlife crisis. It works for everybody. 18-yard box, inside of it, handball. No, not going to call that one. It would have been against the offenses. It sort of bounced off the air and landed. And it's Lincoln City. They've been stirring the drink as far as where the ball has been located. I don't think it's Wigan's got it across the midfield stripe in the last 7-8 minutes here, as Lincoln City trying to push this one forward. Left. What is that? All that build-up, all that interplay, Lincoln City racing, Ruffin gets it, and that's the second time where I don't know what he's doing with the ball, and he's shaking his head. I would be subbing him right now 61 minutes to tell him he can have a seat, because that's this. And I see somebody holding the board, the fourth official. I'm wondering if 23 comes off, that would be a crazy move. Is that kick just goes harmlessly, again, 20 yards above the goal and nowhere close to anybody. Maybe I should not do a poll and let you guys choose. I would have chosen this game anyway. But, man. I guess good to know. We would never have known unless we suffered through this collectively as to... That's me too. Lincoln over a full season. I mean, in any game, anything can happen. So you're not going to say it's guaranteed win day when you play Lincoln by any stretch. And I'm not saying that. But yes, as far as being a better club than Wrexham, they're not. So early substitutions here. Makama coming in for somebody. Catamarteri. the Sheffield Wednesday 19-year-old who got a run. And to be fair, you can't really criticize him in his day. Didn't get any. Makama. But in Wigan now, this is 2 games that we've seen from them. Granted, both of them away. They had Reading away, which they looked absolutely horrible. Ehi Bashaman beating them up that entire game down that left-hand side. And that's why I was excited about it, Swirly. And we're getting 6-7 games in, and you talk about big changeover and teams trying to gel and all that sort of stuff, and then you look at Crawley with their 30.7% of minutes remaining in the team from all of the minutes that were played last year. They gutted everybody, and who did they bring in? They brought some League One stalwarts, no superstars, and some National League players who performed exceptionally well. And some young lone players, and that's about it. Is a long searching ball. That may be the most threatening ball if they're able to get a hand on it. And there's a round of applause and clapping that's happening in Lincoln City that I don't know exactly what that's for. But sounds like about a minute-long clap at the 63-minute mark. And then today, obviously, the Greshford Colliery memorial match. They'll be wearing their blacks with the added 90 logo that they've got for the 90 years since the disaster. And so there will be some pre-game stuff that will happen as we're 9 minutes away from seeing who the lineups will be anyways. And I don't know, Brendan, this game's so exciting. We might want to bring those rosters up and have a look at who Crawley's going to go with and who Wrexham's going to go with. Do a little bit of the pregame and have something to talk about, because Wigan's just kicking the ball around the back through Ameson, who draws it forward to the midfield stripe, gives it away. Another giveaway, and it's just kicked down the middle of down the right side of the pitch, and Wigan gains control 30 yards away from goal, and Asgard with it. Asgard, to be fair, of everybody on the pitch, both teams aside, has been the only guy who's looked at least to have some measure of quality and control. Wigan with it. Center back kickabout. Underway. 30 yards away from goal. Ameson. Center back kickabout continues to Kerr. No press. Oh, they advanced it to 40 yards from their goal. No, they drew it back. 40 yards. Asgard. No, he's going to draw it back all the way back. Tickle with it. And we will talk like this throughout. It's happy sleepy time with Wigan and Lincoln City. Continued kickabout 30 yards from goal. Ameson up to Chambers. And now, will they advance to the midfield stripe? They do. And an opportunity here. No, it got kicked back to the center backs. Chested to Tickle. And finally, a little bit of open space for Asgard as he gets to the midfield stripe. He's crossed the midfield stripe. Huzzah! Oh, I got John back. Far out. Kerr. Carragher. Across the midfield stripe and back again. Ameson. Chambers. There we go. Oh, the very first kick to try to get it within the 40 yards from the Lincoln City goal, and it gets headed out by Jackson. And so they'll have to refresh. All right, turnover, Lincoln City. At least when Lincoln City has the ball, they try to do a thing. Like, if I was a Wigan Athletic fan, I would be in a rough state. And a word from the street is to anticipate Mullen starting, as that's popping up from people who are around the stadium. Five minutes away from the being announced in Wigan, all the way forward, 30 yards away, and Smith just passes the ball to Ruffin. Oh, it wasn't to Ruffin, sorry, it was Jeffries. And Jeffries dances around two guys, it gets kicked out, and it'll be a throw-in down the left-hand side. Did they give the throw-in away? And here comes some subs. Please do something, but not something. I'm happy with a 0-0. Like, you want to talk about how you want draws in every match? A 0-0 draw is the best. Nobody gets any goals for. Drawing in McManaman and Taylor. Norwich up 3-1 on Watford. The whistle and end this snooze fest. It's painful. Murdered my facial hair. My God. No, Stephen, we would rather have a draw. But if somebody had to win, I'd rather it be Wigan. I mean, to me, it's always the team that's lower is the team that you'll be okay with winning. If Mullen and Marriott start together, then Parkey is not the man I think he is. I've asked for why can't M&M be a thing? Asgard with it, 30 yards out. Oh, free kick? No, just tangle of the feet, and it's going to be outside the 18-yard box. Wigan with an opportunity here. Silko Thomas looking to try and cross it in. It took a while for a defender to get out on him. Like if that was, you give that amount of space to Barnett, and that's going into the box, landing on somebody's head. But instead, it just ends up being almost a giveaway, but it's coming all the way back. And it's now kickabout time with the Latics. Tickle to Carragher. Carragher points at the ball before he gives it to his partner in the back. Chambers with it now. Oi, we've got an opportunity. Oh, that's not a free kick. I thought he twisted him up and got his feet into his legs. That'd be a can opener. Didn't step on him, didn't tackle him aggressively, but he stuck his leg into the middle of the Wigan Athletic forward's legs. I want to see this one again. Yeah, he got into the feet and no call. Nothing egregious in the tackle, but it certainly should have been a free kick, I think. But anyways, it's going to go as a goal kick. No, I'm not with you. I'm not with you that Mullen and Palmer is the best combo up top. I mean, maybe in the style of play, and Palmer has had an amazing season compared to where he was. Last year at the end of the season, he had a drop-off, which is why he was dropped from the roster and the lineups for so frequently. Lincoln City opportunity. Ooh, had a right footer, had to make a forced stop. Did tickle, and it didn't really control it that well, but nobody over there. Silko Thomas cross into the box to nobody, and G-Cock gets it. It's interesting to see the divide, A2Z, because I'm more in your camp. Is Mullen is an exceptional player, but hasn't looked good. Marriott is a proven player at this level who has looked good. Did we lose that game against Birmingham because Marriott did anything wrong? Did he miss an opportunity? No. Is he tied for league lead in goals? Yes. I don't know. We'll see. Mullen hat trick incoming. Shut everybody up. Ooh, scratching their heads a little bit. Oh, we won't see Mo for a while. We're not going to see. And Mo Fall is going to frustrate people for an extended. But I mean, you look at Marriott had 17 games where he had one goal in 17 games last season, and everybody was saying, "What the hell? Why did we sign this guy?" And now you have, I thought that he had something in him. He's proven it, I think, so far this year. But I think Mo Fall is a 2-year, 1.5 year project at least. That's also true. And lineup's out. Mullen and Palmer. Does Scar get in on the back? I haven't looked at it. That's fascinating to me because that would have been the change that I would have made. So to go through it, Ogonkwo in the back, no surprise there. In the back line, Cleworth, O'Connor, no surprise there. Barney down the right side, McLean on the left. The midfield doesn't have any changes as the Latics entered into the box and they don't get it in. And it's Dobson, Cannon, and Lee up front, Mullen and Palmer, and then opportunity there, and a header, and it just went wide. Asgard, the only guy who I said has looked steady, and I think he banged that off the outside of the post. And instead now it's coming entirely the other way. Lincoln City with lots of space, right side, looking to get across into the box. 3 players running out there aimlessly, and lots of numbers in the box. Bad pass, bad touch. Had an opportunity, and they couldn't get that one to Dale Taylor, who's still dancing around in the middle of the area. Finally, a little bit of action in this thing coming up to 74. Out to the left-hand side, looking for a cross into the box. Ooh, good pass. Here comes in the box. Crosses on. Tickle punches away just barely, and he had to, or that would have found a player on the back post. Don't know who's there at the back post, but they would have been salivating at that opportunity. Yeah, well, Fall will play every single cup and trophy game. I'm sure of that. See, and that's the hard part too, right? Like we're playing against a Crawley town that we should easily control this thing, right? And if we do, then I guess you kind of have to start Mullen next time if he ends up potting a couple, right? So, I don't know A2Z whether it's going to be a rotation or whether it's a drop in Marriott because. I don't think you can justify that decision of saying we're going to go with Mullen every day. But if this is part of we need to put minutes into legs and we need to give Marriott a rest because he's been out there every time, then there's another way to look at it, right? And Asgard did get that off the left pole, the left post. He was up there in the air. And I still go. What do we call that? The Brendan special? Because he's been pushing it for a while of putting McLean in the midfield. If you're going to be resting people and giving minutes around and all that sort of stuff, I would have thought that this would have been a game other than a cup game that you bring McLean in to the midfield, maybe give Lee a spell, and then you put Revan on the outside. Haven't talked about the subs, so Burton on the bench as always. Scar is back there. Revan as your option, as your wing back. Interestingly, Evans is back. That makes me happy. George Evans, Rathbone being the midfielders for replacements, and Marriott and Fletcher sitting in the back, which there is another thing to look at. Marriott and Fletcher with their quality, long 35-yard kick right to the feet of Tickle, who easily grabs that one as we are 14 minutes away from this painful experience coming to an end. That is true. They started with their 2 wins and they've struggled since then. Although a draw against Stockport isn't something to be sneezed at. Oh, that's a bold call. I don't think the championship's too difficult to get through, and we need too much money, and we have no academy. I don't know how we blast through the championship. But yeah, that's my thought. Is you look at Marriott and Fletcher sitting on the sub bench, and that looks delicious as well, right? Let's pull up Crawley Town and see what their roster is. Trying to keep one eye on the Silko Thomas tried to get that one there, and it came loose to him, but he's going to get a free kick and a foul for too much contact in the back. Right foot, long searching ball down the battle trip, and there's an opportunity into the middle of the box, and nobody able to get a foot to it as it was there for somebody to take as the defense sort of lapsed as everybody's looking at House, who had been pushing around with another player, and let him do his thing. I'm wondering if my audio is good now. So Flint, Kelly, let's go back to it is continued Lincoln pressure in and outside of the 18-yard box. Right-footed, looking far post. Numbers there. Cleared away by Wigan. Shout was for a penalty, but that was an attempt to go and dive for the header, and I don't think you can give anything there for any contact that comes from that. Into the area, nothing there. Flipped up over top and just missed everything. So just going down the list based on minutes for Crawley to see if there's anybody who was a top minute man who's not starting. And who do I see? I see Flint, the defenders there. I see Kelly in their midfield, and that's the Czech-born American who I mistakenly said was born in North Carolina somewhere, but he was born in Prague. McKenna's in. Malarkey. Yeah, I mean, Prague is close enough, right? Czechia, Carolina, same thing. My geography is a little bit off. Wallacut. He's there. He's starting. Darcy, he's in. Williams is in. Hepburn Murphy is on the bench. So Hepburn Murphy, who's had 368 minutes and has started every game for them so far, has been bumped. And that's one of the changes. Anderson's in. And interesting, one of the guys I featured in Quichana, their leading scorer with 2 goals, and he's not in the lineup. Interesting. Junior Kutirna, not drawing in on that one. I mean, he's only started just over half of their games. He's been in 4 of them, but he's their leading scorer out of the midfield, and he is not in the lineup today. So that's intriguing. Kamara draws in as a start and that'll be just his 3rd start for Kamara. Malone not on the bench, and so I feel like I'm missing a starter here. That's going to have to be somebody with little minutes. Foul in the middle of the box. Physical Jackson's been quite physical for Lincoln City, and he's been called out more times than not, and it looks like the refs got his number, so that even that soft little push ended up being something, as we're 9.5 minutes into the extra time here. I'm missing a name that's not normally a starter, so let's see if I can find it. Anderson, he started all of them. Kelly, Flint, McCain, and Malarkey. Armando. Who are you, Armando? I don't have Armando with any minutes, and I didn't see Armando featured. Oh, that's Quiterna. They call him Armando. There you go. So really, the only move that Crawley Town has is Hepburn Murphy coming out of the starting lineup. So they'll be throwing who they normally throw at us, and their leading goal scorer, who's had 3 starts, will get his 4th. And so not really a lot of surprises there. And we can come back to this one. We'll have to run some polls. Enjoy it, Des. And let us know how the cop works. I'm curious to get the feedback. Oh, nice little opportunity here from Wigan, and then just entirely given away. God. Like, I get that not every play goes together, but you'd expect something. 60-40 the possession. Maybe I'll hit the refresh button. Is it really still this low on the XG? It is 0.33 to 0.15. What a gang show. Over hit attempt by Lincoln City, just easily collected by Tickle. And if you're Wigan, I think you're just happy to take your point away and go home. It is still nil, Deandra, and still a continuing snooze fest. I would like to ask for a refund. Silko Thomas, 35 yards away. I'm hoping we get to see George Evans slide in at some point and give Dobson a spell from all the minutes. There's too much quality in that man. The academy is not built out that, though we have an academy team, but it's basically a category 4, even though we've got the 3 license. We've got to get everything set up. Got to get the infrastructure there. Garland High School needs its stuff. Yeah, Wigan with the most possession. To be fair, Lincoln City has looked to be the more threatening team, even to me, even though their XG is low. But that's the quality of and a byproduct of the XG records is they don't favor the counter-attacking team. Thomas just got bullied into there. He got the pass forward and then ended up turning to run forward and chasing the ball and got wiped out. And I haven't seen him pick himself back up. I haven't seen him draw back into the play. As Wigan with an opportunity here. Oh, that's a free kick. Stuck out the left leg. Yellow card coming for it. Stuck out the left leg, 18 yards just to the outside. I'm curious to see. I mean, I got my $5 Canadian back. So that was Dariqua, one of the subs who ended up taking that one. So it'll be basically 19 yards out. This will be put into the box, I'm sure. I can't see from there doing an up and down too far away. But if you're Mr. Marriott, how do you take this one? If you're leading the league in goals. You don't really get an opportunity to do anything in the last game, and then you're yoinked. Well, I guess we'll see. At the same time, I think the message has to be, and what we'll hear Parkinson say at the end is, I just have to make sure that everybody's getting minutes. It's pushed forward. Silko Thomas too far for him, and it's going to go harmlessly for a goal kick. I'm okay. I hear Cat 2, but I'm happy with a Cat 3 as long as it's all operational. Right? If it's all operational, especially in North Wales where you've got that large catchment area, you're going to be bringing in young kids who are going to get an opportunity to play and build themselves up. And the parents will go to a Cat 3 in North Wales where there's no other academies really around. I mean, yes, you've got Shrewsbury, I guess. You've got what's the other one that's got the long history there? League 2 squad in the area. I mean, Port Vale, there's enough around. But I think if you get to the Cat 3 and you just get it set up, but you need the infrastructure, right? And get it running. Thanks, Marie. That last one I felt a little bit disappointed in, I'll be honest, just because I didn't have as much time as I normally do to put that thing together. And so I just kind of bullied it and got it out. 4 minutes away from the end of the half or end of the match, at least into the extra time. I'm just so disconnected from this one. Silko Thomas flips it into the 18-yard box, headed away, headed up in the air. Jackson comes and saves it, and here comes Lincoln City. Got some space, instead long hoof ball down the middle of the pitch. Controlled by Wigan? Not controlled by Wigan. It'll be a throw-in with 3.5 minutes to the 90 from about 35, 40 yards from the Wigan Athletic goal. Lincoln City with it, control, bad first touch, so they're going to have to come back, roughen with it. Switch, long ball to the right-hand side, headed forward, give it to Makama to go and chase, and he shoulder barges the defender, Ameson, who takes a bit of a flop. But that's enough to draw a free kick, and it'll go the other way for Wigan. Man, what if you're a coach, if you're a fan, how frustrating are you with this one? Stephen, you will get your word, or you will get that opportunity. The rematch will happen against Birmingham at the Stoke Rasa January. Yes, it might have been. Yes, it was Crew. It'll be interesting to see with the demand in Wrexham once they get that extra allocation from Crawley Town, not choosing to take the upper seats from their allocation and giving them back. What and how many Wrexham fans are able to find their stuff. Northern Border, yes, I cleared off the mess. 2 minutes 2, and shortly thereafter, once this one's finished, we'll probably take a 5-minute interlude for everybody to run and use the facilities, do their thing, and we'll jump on and talk about the game and prepare ourselves for hopefully something way more exciting than this one. Interesting. I want to bring that chat up. I just saw something pop up. The question is do you like the new one or do you like the old one? Huh. Rumors abound in Wrexham. Yeah, we can go through that as we get to the 90th minute. We'll wrap up the stats as they go through, and so you can see the fought mob stats as they go up, and I'll just take you through the pain as we watch this one and see how much added time, whether they give the 1 minute added special on this one as well to try and send everybody home early as Wigan Athletic comes up with the ball on a challenge down the right side. And so we'll see if they're able to advance something forward through free kick. Going to have to go there. Silko Thomas gets wiped out by McKiernan. I'm without my face coat. Don't have to worry about it in Vancouver. It just rains here. We once every 3-4 years we get snow, and when we do, my wife goes full Yorkshire mode and is like, we can't drive. And I was like, how do people, the country would shut down if that was the rule everywhere. Yeah, that's just it. I just need an umbrella. Skip of snow though. You should bring up the side-by-side from this year, which is the more modernized version, the one that they had last year with it was something completely different. We don't say nice things about Tranmere, Swirly. That's not allowed here. 3 minutes of added time, so 2.5 minutes left. Let's get into the stats here. 62-39.8% the possession. Lincoln City largely looking to try and be a counter-attacking team, it seems, and hasn't been so far. Here is a long searching ball to try and find something in the box, but not there. Collected by G-Cock. Yes, Mullen is starting today with Palmer. Other than that, it's sort of the same old, except for Evans is on the bench today in the midfield. So the expected goals 0.33 to 0.15. No shots on target in this half. And as I say that, here comes Lincoln City into the 18-yard box. Dances, nutmeg, and then shot, but blocked, not by the goalkeeper, but by the defender. And so there was maybe the best opportunity of the game. 1.5 minutes into added time. Why are we apologizing, DeAndre? You never have to apologize. Just boss the place. Knock down, left shot. That might actually bump the XG up by a 0.1, but easily collected by Tickle. What do I talk about here? Passes 388 to 203, and so 180 extra passes here. Quite a bit more by Lincoln City, up to 203. They were below 100 at the start of the half. Oh, for speaking ill of Transmere badge. Yes. You'd have to. 18-yard box for Wigan Athletic, looking for an opportunity, far post, and Silko not able to climb the ladder to get ahead on that one as it was way over his noggin. 30 seconds until the referee releases us from the pain that was this game. Horrible. I tried to shock the kids without the beard. Didn't work. Did that whole like towel over the head and tickle them with the beard, towel over the head, tickle them with the beard, then went and shaved and came back and tried it again. And they didn't care. They were just happy that they were being tickled. So, oh, thank you. This one ends 0-0, and I guess that's a good thing for the scoreboard. There's not much more I want to talk about this one. So if you guys wanted to head over to the chat over there, feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to take a facility break, and then we'll get everything set up on our end, and we'll join the channel and talk about Crawley, the Red Dragons, and the Devils. Thanks for joining this one. Still always nice to be able to see the squads, and if nothing more, we learned that over an entire season, not really that intimidated. We've seen Wigan twice. We've seen Lincoln today. Not a lot in it based on today, anyway.
They are not better than us. They may beat us, but they're not better.
They may beat us, but they're not better than us over the length of the season. Based on today, I would definitely say that's true. We'll slide over. Thanks for being here for this one. Signing off, and we'll see you in about 2 to 5 minutes. Have a good one. Until then. All right. Bye-bye.